Hey guys, got to see here with some 200 zoom. Unfortunately, there's very little action at higher stakes right now, so just going to be playing some 200. Been mostly playing 500 though recently. A lot of reg tables because the zoom pool doesn't run all that often these days, especially during the daytime, which it now is. Also been playing a little bit of 1k, which is I've run very hard at the 1k, which is always nice. Nothing too interesting to talk about so far. Oh, I've just realized I don't have my HUD on. Gonna go ahead and turn that on. I think we're mostly calling, occasionally going to 3-bet. Gonna call this time. And gonna raise this a quarter of a time. First min, 200 rake, I'm not sure. Let's make the call. This is super close. It's probably a mix at this rake. And interesting here. I think I'm just going to bet big. And our queen 7 with these suits gonna run an occasional check raise here for sure. And on the turn, I'm going to split between block and overbet. I think this hand pretty much just always wants to overbet with the properties of the hand. Uh, 8-6. I'm actually going to overlimp. As you know, overlimping the lower suit connectors isn't great because we often get overlimped again by higher suited cards. So it's better to be overlimping hands like King 6 of spades than 8-6 of spades. Just going to pure bet on this flop. I think when we're this deep, I'm going to use 2/3 or check. I'm going to bet this one. Just pure. Place a 2/3 pot lead here, which is interesting. I'd imagine our hand's meant to continue at some frequency, but I think I'm just going to find a fold. Definitely interesting play from our opponent there. Ace Jack's going to mostly check back, I believe, but I'll bet this a third of a time. not a board we want to be range betting. This board we can choose multiple different strategies. I prefer to just go with the small bet with a lot of my range. Just going to bet this hand. Ace, jack, no reason to bet. And very easy to continue with the ace king. Not playing any 3-bets here. And really not a fan of our opponent's sizing here. I think he should be far more polar than a 2/3 bet. Regardless, we can't really do anything with this hand, we just have to let it go. His jack's going to be a mix. Sizing up slightly, 120 bigs deep. This hand will free bet less when we're deep stacked. These kind of offsuited hands don't play so well deep, but this still will get in there at frequency. This is a weird spot, the king queen. I think against this size we can actually just call. I'm gonna go ahead and mark this guy as recreational. Also gonna turn the volume down because those alerts are quite loud right now. Very easy to continue on the left. Mostly checking back. Against recreational, actually, I think I like just stabbing really small here. Kind of don't care. Yeah, I'm just betting this small exploitatively, just kind of doing what my hand wants to do. Get a little bit of volume protection on the turn and be able to check back rivers. 10 is going to be cold for betting pure in these positions. And I believe we're calling off a jam with 10s. It's close, it's really close. I think 10s might even be a mix. This is right on the borderline. I'm more sure that it's a call than a fold, so I'm going to call 75% of the time. Unfortunate. When we're playing against two reasonable regulars, we just go at the charts there. This will do some 3-betting and some calling. I think we're too aggressive regs. I'm just going to play a 3-bet only strat, especially at 200, where the rig's higher. And if we're playing 3-bet only, this hand's a pure 3-bet. And a pure fold. Super rare 3-bet. And with no info on this player, I think I'm just going to go with a 4-bet here. Yeah, gonna 4-bet. think I'm gonna exploit fold against this. Am I? Horrible spots. Horrible spots this video. I'm gonna fold this. I think. Really nasty spot. Bunch of nasty spots this video so far. Don't think this is one of our flush draw combos that we want to be raising. I guess we have to continue against the size. And just check fold river. I think our hand could potentially bluff. I think when people check back this board, they are just strong. I have no idea why you wouldn't range bet this board. I just think range bet's clearly the best option, and just going to be checking down. Expect to lose to. Okay, very surprised that hand doesn't see bet the flop. I was expecting to see pocket fours, pocket sevens. Especially with the diamonds and the queen with the backdoor straight draw. Really not a fan of his flop check. Threes, we are gonna do some raising and some calling on the flop. Gonna raise 40% of the time and call the rest. It's a nice turn. Maybe the video run bad is coming to an end. I'm gonna slow play 10% of the time, and the rest I'm gonna raise this. Deuces, I don't actually hate stabbing some of the time. I'd prefer to have a spade. Gonna go for the check raise here with the threes. And now we just take our showdown. We're actually good. I'd say about 20% of the time here. Potentially more. Okay, I'm just gonna 3-bet. And I think I'm gonna go 2/3 here. Don't want to go too big that he won't raise like a king high or ace high flush. I'm gonna start off with a small c-bet. And very clear all in. If he has a better full house, then so be it. But most of the time, this is a flush. I can take my time in case. I mean, I don't know if I have bluffs here, but if I did, I'd definitely have to take my time. Of course, the queen eight. Not a good video so far. I also really the fact he raises smaller than jam is costing him so much EV. So again, another mistake from our opponent. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter when we have a hand that 3-bet jams for value. But if we have a flush here, he's costing himself a lot of money, or he's losing himself 27 big blinds at a reasonable frequency. Gonna stab these threes. Ace 9, I don't mind a delay C bet. Gonna check this time. And we have a touch of showdown against like some ace jack, king jack, ace queen. Still think we have to bluff some of the time with the threes. Just thinking about sizing. Go with this, and I'm gonna bluff this ace 9 on the river. Three betting the queens. And 3 betting the tens. Against this huge size, I think I'm just going to pure jam ace king off. When he makes it 4x, we do a lot less flatting. This hand just wants to just straight up rip a lot of the time anyway, but especially when he makes it too big. I just think our hand wants to pure jam. And we balance this by mixing in some pocket kings. We do this with kings about 30% of the time, and ace king off pretty much pure. Against his size, just pure. Gonna assume this guy's recreational. And going to be 4-betting aces. So against a linear small blind range, we want to not be 4-betting too much on the small side. Against the big blind, I'd be making this smaller because their range is more polar. So even when we go smaller, they're going to have a bunch of folds, whereas the small blind's not going to have quite so many folds. Aces can check back a decent amount without having a spade or a club. This is going to be the combo I bet the most. But I'm still going to check it back half the time. I'm going to flat this king queen with recreational in, or a presumed recreational in the big blind. And I don't think I want to stab too small here. I want to be relatively polar with my stabs. Gonna go for half pot. And I think I'm just gonna get this combo of aces in and maybe slow play some of my other aces combos. Unfortunate and double unfortunate. This video could be going better. Not much we can do there. We get the money in. Very good. Gonna open super wide against this guy who doesn't 3-bet. Oh, I mean he does, but not nearly enough. Basically, if your opponent's not 3-betting the big blind, you get to open incredibly wide in the small blind. Gonna be checking range. His cutoff flatting range is much stronger and more condensed than my middle position opening range. Basically, he doesn't have any trash, whereas we do. He's kind of concentrated around the middling pocket pairs. This hand makes a pretty good turn bet now. I think given pocket fives is like quite a decent chunk of his range, we don't get to overbet. I think I will go for pot. Like he has pocket fives a very decent amount of the time now. So I think having overbet as well, like I'm only gonna have one bet size there, and I think the prevalence of pocket fives in his range means that overbet would be a bit too ambitious of a size there. This guy's on the aggressive side, so I won't open. I would be opening that hand against some regulars, and definitely against some recreationals. And I think we are going to pure check back. Our opponent can have some leads on this board. From what I've seen from this player, I don't think he does play leads. Which means we're going to check back even more. Basically, if he's not playing leads on a board like this, we have to be more careful with our c-bets because the checking range is strong. And very easy check back on turn. We just want to realize our equity. And I think this is a very underbluffed size. Our hand's just slightly too strong to be folding though. Expect to lose this a very large amount of the time, but still have to call. As expected. Gonna start off with a small bet here. An interesting turn. Don't mind barreling for small. I think I'm gonna check back. If my suits were reversed, I think I'd quite like a barrel for small there. And another horrible spot where I expect us to run into a flush or a full house a lot of the time. But I mean, we're being some value in 10-9 and potentially a hand like King 10. So we just have to click cool. Not happy. Ah, there we go. We beat the value. The way this video was going, I was sure we were gonna run into it again. Gonna size up against a guy who doesn't like to fold. And I think just pure checking this. I'm using 2/3 or check. And I think this hand just, yeah, wants to pure check. And using, if we were 100 bigs deep, I'd be using overbet check. I think this deep, I'm just going to use this size or check and just bet this hand always. That's not a good turn. Still think we can bet our ace queen. There's a bunch of worse ace-x we can get away from. And just going to be checking back our tens. 9 of hearts one time. I think I'm still going to bet here, especially when he snap checks. I think recreationals a lot of the time when they like turn a king there, they'll take a bit of time. Like, oh wow, I've hit a king. Kind of, what do I do? So especially against snap check, I think I like just keeping betting, trying to get value, as mentioned, from worse ace-x. It doesn't make any sense for us to have any big bets there, because when we big bet the flop, we're hardly ever meant to bet king x. So in theory, our big bet on the turn is horrible, but against recreational, I think it's just fine. Like in theory, he should probably even. Can he range lead? Yeah, he should probably range lead, but obviously that's just not going to happen in practice when the opponent's recreational. It's just such a good card for him and such a bad card for me. And Queen Jack is going to be a call. And going to be check jamming flop here. In 4-bet pots, we're playing flops very aggressively. Basically, if you flop a piece, you kind of just have to go with it. It's the nature of 4-bet pots. We want to deny equity from ace king, ace jack, king jack. Though we do get it in here. In pretty bad shape a lot of the time. No snap is excellent. Good chance we get called off by ace king here. I think if he has ace king, he's not meant to fold. There it is. And the run back continues. At least we won the second one. How long have we been going for? Half an hour. Keep it going. Probably another 10 minutes or so. How's the session going? Not well. I reckon we're probably down like 3 buy-ins. Let's get it up. Yeah, down 3 buy-ins, but only down 1 buy-in in EV. Yeah, this is the graph so far. Oh wait, no, that's all of today. I'll sort it out in a bit. Gonna arrange about this one. And very easy continue, not having any 3-bets there. I think I'm meant to check range here. Against a fish, I kind of just want to barrel for small. These suits, and then kind of bomb, flush completing rivers. We've got. I think this hand has too much showdown value to be betting. Oh, this is really annoying. Just gonna fold. Yeah, too much showdown to bet this one. And aces against my friend here, GT Anu. Always nice. And we just have to bet the river here, I think. Do we? What are we getting called by? Oh, I'm not sure. I think we have to bet. I think we have to bet. I could be wrong. That could be a check back. Like there's a decent chance we're meant to be like super polar on that river. Okay. So sure. Hey, at least I wasn't full stacked. He's gonna ping me in Discord now. Against the recreational, who looks to be pretty active, can defend. In theory, I'm not sure if this defends against 3x in the cutoff. And just gonna be checking. Probably should have rolled this one. And facing over that very interesting line. Using big bet or check here. Get about this hand decently often. Screw that up. On a 68. Ace 2 is a fold in theory, and I think it's even more of a fold when the small blind is playing too many hands. There are lineups I'd still open Ace 2 against this aggro looking guy. Let's say what's going to be higher AD between full bet or call. I think this guy's like so aggro looking that I'm just gonna call. Like it'd be too much of a waste to full bet fold this hand against the guy that's aggressive. And unfortunately, I think we just have to fold without the backdoor flush draw. Yeah, not happy, but folding. Definitely a couple different ways we could have played that ace queen, but I'm totally fine with the line I took. 8's going to be a low frequency 3-bet. Basically call. And that is a flop on the left. Not range betting this one, so I'm going to mix in a very occasional check with this hand. Very occasional. And I think our 8s are just a pure block bet here. And this is nice. Yeah, just going to pure block 8s. It's not the turn we wanted to see. The king diamonds, I still will mix some check backs. Not this time. Against a very capable reg, which this guy is. Definitely good to protect our checking range bet. And it's not ideal. It's still going to value that. I'm not sure about sizing. There's a chance we want to go bigger. I don't really know. And I was very short on time bank. He has a lot of queen X here, but we still have to value that. Nice. I'm assuming jack 10, 10, 9, yeah. This hand will actually mix in a low frequency 3-bet. Just going to be a check. Pure folding. This will 3-bet 2/3. Yeah, against MP it's 2/3. Against under the gun it's a bit less. On this roll we're folding. This guy looks like a reg. From his stats, gonna give him the reg type. Can't remember a single hand I've played against him, but he's got regular stats, so. And this hand seems like a pretty nice one to c-bet, but I will check it back some other time. Not going to be c-betting this board all too often. This hand does seem especially nice though to be doing so. Turn. I think if I'm betting it's going to be 2/3. I think we do mostly want to... I'm going to bet this 40% of the time. Really not sure what frequency we should be going here. I think we have to just bluff the river. Yeah, this has to be a river bluff. Just going to go 2/3. I have a bunch of overpairs still in my range here. Bunch of hands like 9/8 of hearts. And some even stronger stuff as well. This is gonna mostly. Oh, this guy's got very nitty stats. And I give him the benefit of a doubt and assume it's just sample size. So I'm going to play this hand at the theoretical frequencies, which is 3/4 call, 1/4 3-bet. So we don't quite roll the 3-bet. But potentially this guy's tighter. I'd like to have a bit of a bigger sample before I deviate too much though. And nice spot here with kings. And maybe this guy's not even a recreational actually, he's got somewhat reggy stats. So this is going to jam 30% of the time and 4-bet the rest. And another reggy line from him. So yeah, we'll be doing just some jamming here with kings. But not on a 37 roll. And just calling any bet size apart from potentially all in. I think we want to be polar to at least 2 pair here. So I'm going to choose a pot size. Going to start off with a small bet on the right. And pure check turn. And pure check river. Expect to chop a lot if he checks back. Oh, I didn't think kickers played. When I saw his hand, I was sure we chopped. it's been 40 minutes, so gonna wrap it up. Let's see how we did. By session. This session. So we were minus 360 with, we were up in EV. That counts for something, right? Yeah, ran pretty bad. Both in spots and obviously in all in equity. Actually ran okay in spots, but we had some horrible ones. The tens versus jacks and the pocket threes versus queen eight. But then we also had like the aces versus ace king against my friend GTO Noob. So yeah, bit of a weird session, but I think we played pretty well. And yeah, sorry for that long delay in video. Hopefully I'll be back with some higher stakes videos as well soon. It's unfortunate. If you look at the pools here, there's literally no action at 500 or 1k. I mean, I'm not going to reg battle at 1k. I don't particularly fancy reg battling 1k regs either at 500. But yeah, when the action's a bit better at 500, I'll try and record that. So I think that's what people would rather see. Cheers for watching. See you guys soon.